let's talk about what we heard from the commissioner in the first hour. In case you're just joining us, I asked him about that play in the NLCS that Joe Madden went crazy for, where a run was put back on the board for the Dodgers because Contreras had blocked home plate with his left leg.
Right.
And I asked if, that was an old school great relay throw to an old school play at the plate for an out, but it was the Buster Posey rule that was appropriately applied. Asked if there was any there to try and reverse that rule. And he just absolutely said it was Joe Madden's in a minority of one. There's no chance of that happening. Do you agree with that?
No. And there's a couple of things. That play I didn't agree with. And then I think the replay ruling, at times it goes a little bit too far. With that said, I thought the Nationals caught an awful break. Now, Wade Davis was in all kinds of trouble in game 5, right? In that Cubs series, right?
You're talking about the Lobaton play here.
Absolutely, right?
Okay.
There's no question that he's back to first base in time, but does his foot slightly come off the bag? He's clearly safe. And I think the replay's been good in some instances, but I think the guys are stealing a bag and they go in and they're head first and they beat the play. They're easily safe, and a little bit the foot comes off, the hand comes off an eighth of an inch, but the guy's holding the tag. And I go back to that play with Contreras blocking home plate. I get the gist of what we're trying to do to protect players. I get that, but in some ways, I don't like it, and maybe I'm in the minority of that, Rich, because I don't think it's a play that happens all that often, and when it does happen, it can be like what happened to Buster Posey. But now you see runners when they're rounding third, they're not sure whether they want to slide to the inside, they want to slide to the outside.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so it's like guys are going into home plate sliding, kind of tentatively sliding. Do I want to go in? Should I go in? Should I run him over? Should I go straight on? And I think it's to a disadvantage for the runner now, because everything is in the advantage of the catcher. You can stay back, you can stay behind the plate, you can catch the ball, and without the fear of one getting knocked over, or two, you have to give a guy a lane to go ahead and slide, unless the throw takes you up towards home plate. And that's it's not going to change. I get it, but it's a rule I'm not 100%.
Yeah, because the commissioner said essentially they knew going into expanding replay to include players staying on a base, they knew the situation would crop up, and they basically decided, this is what he said last hour, that they decided, you know what, we're just going to have to live with it. I thought maybe you could keep replay for players sliding into a base, remove replay for sliding back to a base.
Right. And it's happened because it's happened a couple of times where a guy has slid into home, right? And he has beaten the throw, but his foot crossing home is an eighth of an inch. It's not actually on home. That's a hard base to slide and keep your foot on the ground. And so the tag's applied, and you look at it slow-mo and you say, well, look, his foot, he's a foot past the tag already. But the foot is about an eighth of an inch off the ground, and it's a technicality. And so, but it is, I guess that's one of the negatives that you have to live with replay.
For more Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Rich Eisen Show app.